What's up, people? I'm going to clean my room for a little bit here. Yesterday I tried to get a new table that I found outside that somebody was throwing away, and it was a good contender to replace the table I'm over by right now, but it turned out to be too big to get into this room, so can't use that table, unfortunately. What I found is if you do any sort of amp work, you really need to have the right working space where your body is relaxed while you're working. Here's that killer cab from Jack Lee Guitars. I don't know how well you guys can see that, but this cab is awesome, and he's not done. He is not done. And this Princeton is also in that category of not done. We got it to work for a couple hours on the first day, but this is not done. This has some major issues that we're trying to sort out right now, and it will happen. We will get it. Have no fear. It just takes a while. So, if you work with sole proprietors, you'll get some fucking rock star, one-of-a-kind stuff, but it might take a little while, and there might be version 1, and then it gets tweaked a little bit until the customer likes it. It might take a little bit longer to get what you need, but I'm still very grateful for my guitar masters that I work with to get the best stuff possible. So since that Princeton isn't working, I'm going to go Tech 21 mode and get that sucker out. I've had a lot of long, challenging conversations with Andy, trying to fix that Princeton. We've been doing offline bastard classes, just like when we built the Hiwatt and the Marshall together. So this time it's just me and him offline, not live, doing video calls and testing out all this different stuff with the Princeton. And we've made progress, but we'll see what happens with that project. It might be me and him continuing to work on it and fixing it, or it might be sending it back to YDNA in New York. We will see. We will see. But, you just have to have some patience, which I think everybody's been stressed out the past few weeks. I know I have the situation with the amp that got in the way of my downtime on the weekends and after work and stuff. I'd be on the phone talking to him, and it made me feel really helpless because for a couple hours that first day, so I got it the first day, did the unboxing video. On the unboxing video, you heard me say, yo, there's something not right with this. Well, then Andy and I spent the next like 5 hours on the phone getting it to a place of being right. And we got there. And then Jack Lee Guitars came over and he played for a couple hours, and it was awesome. And it was, I'll tell you about what it was. I haven't done a review on it because it hasn't worked for more than that couple hours that first day. But my review would be, it sounds like the reissue, except less flub on the bass and on power chords and stuff. So less flub, more articulation, and more variable control of the EQ section. Because Fender makes those where you put the bass on 3 and you put the treble on 5, and that's the only setting you ever use. Because the treble up anymore is too bright, and the bass up anymore is too much flub. So Fender really EQs it in a way where it's got one setting of bass and treble that's fitting for the amp, and anything else when you move those dials gets too bassy or too trebly. So yeah, Fender doesn't give that amp any sort of flexibility. So YDNA did, and it sounded great. And it was also louder. It was louder and punchier and had a bigger, clean, just a bigger, bolder, clean sound. I was digging it when Jackie was over here. And unfortunately, it's got some issues. We're going to figure it out. So I've just got to be patient with that. We'll see if I can get the Tech 21 up on this stand. Let's see. I did make a purchase today off Sweetwater because they got the Black Friday sale. And what I purchased was another item from the brand Hercules, who makes stands. So I have the Hercules stand for guitar that is like this. So this is a great stand, and it's the only stand that works with the Explorer because the Explorer's body shape is funky. So you just drop it in, locks it, and it can fold up. I've got a couple other Hercules stands. So this time I bought a Hercules 3 guitar stand that's like this stand in the corner, except better. So this stand in the corner is falling apart and shitty, and I'm gonna junk it. But hey, this has served me well for quite a long time. This says Solid Tech. It's made by Solid Tech. It's probably a musician's friend house brand or something. But yeah, I got a better version of this and possibly a smaller version. So I'll have some more room back there. Looking forward to that. Hercules is a good brand. Their stuff is made in Asia like everything else, but I can tell you that it is quality stuff. I lucked out getting into Hercules because I found Hercules stands at a thrift shop. Stands from a thrift shop. And then I've bought more of their products since then. This is a heavy 2x12 combo. It's made of ply. It's not made of particle board, MDF. It's made of ply. I haven't opened it up, but maybe there's some gut shots on the internet somewhere that I could look at. Yeah, Tech 21 is a cool company. Earlier today, I saw. You guys know that guy Johan Sedgeborn or whatever? He's probably from what, Sweden or Belgium? He did a video earlier today on Yamaha solid state amps from the 70s. I've never played them, but that was pretty interesting. They look like they would be pretty cool amps to try out. It's like if a solid state amp has big transformers in it and they actually spent some money on the production of it and it wasn't just a cheaper amplifier, that's interesting because most of the time solid state is just something that you get if you can't afford what's better. I'm gonna want to open this amp up and blow out those pots. I'm not going to do it right now, but that is something I'm going to need to do. I hear some crackle when I turn the master volume pot. I have too much stuff in this room. I'm literally boxing myself in. I wanted that other table because it's higher than the one I currently have, and that would make working on amps be more ergonomic, so I wouldn't have to be bent over. But it was also too big to get into the room, so that's not going to happen. Jack Lee Guitars moved into a brick and mortar location, and it's in a big commercial office building. I haven't been over there yet. I saw some photos of it yesterday. That's pretty exciting. Place he's in has a lot of natural light, huge windows. It's looks like a place that you need to put a bunch of art on the wall, because the lighting in there is really nice. You can really get the colors to pop in that room. So hopefully he'll have some stuff to put up on the walls and also be able to show off his guitars with all the fancy inlays. Brought to you by Hercules. This strap is being unruly. I'm gonna have to take this strap button off the bottom. I'll take the button off and put the strap on permanently. All right. This amp is literally in my face right now, so let me see what it's like. It's important to angle stuff in a room like this so you can listen to it properly. All right, let's work on this stand. Amp looks like it's gonna fall off. Well, what I found with Tech 21 is you should read the instruction manual and you shouldn't come to quick judgments about things. Yeah, like that tone sounds 100% better than it did like 20 seconds ago because of knob twisting. The knobs on most amps, they'll get you basically like, well, I don't know. There's not a lot of flexibility on most amps. On the Tech 21 amps, I think all the controls are called active, and it means that they have a much bigger sweep. And you can set it up and it doesn't sound good, or you can set it up and it sounds great. So there's way too much bass on tap. So you've got to find the sweet spot for that bass on here for sure. Yeah, that's the Marshall. Here's the Fender. Boost. Huh. A little while ago, that was sounding good to me, and now it doesn't. My ears got used to one sound. Yeah, this is supposed to be like a dual rectifier. It's just more gain than the last channel. It's not really sounding like a dual rec. It sounds good. Just clean, break up, and then gainy. Channel 1, channel 2, channel 3. Sounds good. All right, let me flip this phone around and see if anybody's there. Oh, what's up? All right. We got tea in the house. Yeah, I love the woodwork too. Thank you. Right on, dude. Thank you. Yeah, like and subscribe for sure. That Princeton sounds quiet after he built it. He even said that. No, he didn't ship it with known problems. It sounds good, man. It just doesn't work. Thanks. I hope you have a blessed day as well. Here, let me read the manual of this Tech 21 for a little bit. Okay. I'll read to you. How about that? This is stamped 2001 Tech 21. Tech 21 Inc. 2001. 1 year limited warranty. Tech 21, the company. Tech 21 was founded by a guitarist possessing the unusual combination of a trained ear and electronics expertise. In '89, Andrew Barta incorporated Tech 21 and made his invention commercially available to players and studios around the world. His highly acclaimed SansAmp pioneered tube amplifier emulation in professional applications for recording direct and performing live, and created an entirely new category of signal processing. While there have since been many entries into this niche, which in 2001 would include the Line 6 pod, SansAmp continues to maintain its reputation as the industry standard. After developing a full line of SansAmp models, Tech 21 expanded its offerings to include effects pedals. Each product is thoughtfully and respectfully designed by Andrew Barta with the player in mind. Our goal is to provide you with flexible, versatile tools to cultivate, control, refine, and redefine your own individual sound. Tech 21 takes great pride in delivering consistent, professional quality sound, studio to studio, club to club, arena to arena. Trademark 120, an overview. That's what this amp is, the Trademark 120. The 100% analog Trademark 120 merges the preamp format with our exceptionally popular SansAmp G2 pedal with the look and feel of the Trademark 60 into a 212 stereo configuration with 3 channels. Go from sparkling clean to semi-dirty to mega overdrive. The included foot switch allows you to select channels, activate the reverb and boost functions, and engage the effects loop. The Trademark 120 is designed with active controls, which cut and boost, rather than traditional passive controls, which can only cut. This gives you a much larger range of adjustability and ultimately more variety. It should be noted that you need not necessarily set everything at max to achieve maximum results. As you experiment and become familiar with the controls' interrelationships, you'll easily be able to customize your own sounds. This has a direct out, has a headphone input, which disables the speakers. It's got some recommended settings here. This is recommending to turn up the low and high. I don't know what that'll do. It seems to have too much bass, but maybe if you turn those up, maybe they interact somehow. Yeah, just too much bass. That's okay. That spring reverb is really toned down. You've got to turn it up more than halfway to really get it cooking. What's up, Riley? What's up, Jack Lee Guitars? Sub to Riley, sub to Jack Lee Guitars. They're fledgling YouTube channels. Riley works on amps. Jack Lee Guitars, a guitar luthier. I'm just playing this amp, Blast from the Past from 2001. That's what I'm doing, man. That's what you missed. I'm just playing this amp. The Tech 21 Trademark 120, 212 combo, made from ply, heavy, probably has big transformers. I haven't seen gut shot of it yet, but I'm going to look up a gut shot after this on Google. I bought it as a curiosity. It came up new old stock used locally recently. I bought it. I wanted to see what it sounded like. I'm certainly a fan of the Tech 21 character pedals, and I've been hearing different EQ frequencies in those that made me want to check out more Tech 21 products. This amp is cool. It has active EQs, so the EQ is really powerful, and you can make it sound super shrill, super bassy, or whatever. You got to dial this thing into the room that you're in. My initial thoughts are that I've been wrong before about placing judgment on Tech 21 products because so much of it is dependent on knob twisting to find your sound. So it sounds okay, man. I don't know. It sounds good. It's nice that it's got Accutronic spring reverb and that it's not a circuit that immediately gets way too much reverb. So this lets you just put a dab on where you wouldn't even know it's a spring, but it doesn't sound like naked, and it's got a little something going on there. You probably wouldn't even be able to tell that there's reverb because it doesn't splash if you just have the knob up a little bit. It doesn't splash at all. But when you turn it all the way off, you know it's gone. So that's a nice feature. This is one of the reasons I bought this is out of curiosity, because this is a product that could not be made today. The Tech 21 company itself isn't making any amplifiers today. Like this thing, I don't know, it's 50 pounds or something. It's as big as a twin reverb. You can't do that anymore. You can't, I mean, you'd have to charge a lot of money because shipping stuff it's not tubes. No, it's a Tech 21 Sans amp with big transformers and all analog circuitry. That's what they say. I know there's debate on what really constitutes analog, but yeah, it's not tube, but it's also not made of particle board. It also has Celestions. It also has big transformers. It's from 2001. Let me just go back over this for a second for Riley. The 100% analog Trademark 120 merges the preamp format of our exceptionally popular SansAmp G2 pedal with the look and feel of the Trademark 60, their 1x12, into a 2x12 stereo configuration with 3 channels. So check out the foot switch. Channel 1, 2, 3, effects loop, in and out, reverb, and boost. Okay? So there's a lot of flexibility there. In channel 1, 2, and 3, yeah, it's supposed to be Tweed, Marshall, and Mesa Boogie dual rectifier, but really it's just cleaner, less clean, and dirty. So cleanish, gained up, super gained up. So it's cool. And since it's got the effects loop, you can plug your modeler straight into the return and use that as a monitoring source for your modeler stuff. So I spent $300 on it. It's new old stock, came with all the paperwork, everything. It's cool. They definitely could not make that amp today. They'd have to charge $1,400 for it, and nobody would buy it because this is supposed to be like a more practical amp that you get when you're not afraid that somebody's going to steal it when you gig with it, and maybe it's for players that don't yet have enough money or want to commit to a big tube purchase, so they'll spend half as much on this. But yeah, today you couldn't make this. The Fender Tone Master amps, I guess that's a modern day equivalent, but the Fender Tone Master amps don't have a 5-button foot switch. They don't have I don't think they have Accutronics reverb tanks. They can just do one tone and that's it. How can I make noise? I do have neighbors. This is an apartment building, but it's overbuilt and the walls are thick. And beyond this wall is my bedroom. Beyond that wall is my wife's office. So it's just up and down that I have to be worried about. And there must be some really thick concrete because I can get loud in here. Now, I don't stay loud when it's too late or too early in the morning. But during the day, I can turn up. There's only been once that somebody's come and knocked on my door. And I just say, "Oh, I'm sorry, am I making too much noise? How can I accommodate you? What time do you want me to knock it off?" That's all that happens. So yeah, I'm fortunate to live in a building with thick, overbuilt walls because you wouldn't believe it from what you've heard from Andy's channel, but I do like to turn up. Problem is, when the two of us have been troubleshooting together for hours at a time on the phone, then by the time he gets to the point where he says, "Okay, now I want you to turn everything up to 10 and then put your multimeter on the speaker jack and see what volts there are," I'm like, "Dude, it's now 8:45 at night and I can't do that right now." So that stuff like that will have to wait until lunchtime the next day. But yeah, I like turning up. You can't play guitar without proper volume. You got to have volume. Definitely. And I can't even get enough volume with the Marshall and Hiwatt to really hear what they're supposed to sound like, because they're not amps where it will be the same with the master volume on one as it would higher. Now I have a limited bright cap in the Marshall, but still it would take on a different character if I was able to play louder. But it still sounds great at low volumes. I'm happy with it. Oh, do you want to see the fender? So we've disconnected a bunch of stuff, and then quickly I've thrown in some wires, the ones that are loose here that you'll see. I've quickly thrown in some to do the testing, make connection points where he's been asking me. So right now, the post gain is a mid pot, and I think we're going to change that back to the post gain. And that's the only knob that's different. But yeah, right now it's like putting out 10 watts. It's not nearly loud enough, and we've got issues that we're working on. But everything in time. You got to be patient. I'm going to try some boosts in front of the Tech 21. Let's see what I got here. That's an OCD and a little tape echo going into the front of the amp on the Fender on channel 1. Serenity Drive, channel 1. try phaser before drives. That sounds good. I'll be right back, guys. Yeah, we got anybody out there who's played Quilter amps? This doesn't remind me of Quilter experience, but there's something in Quilter that is like a built-in compressor type deal that I hear a little bit going on here. But with the Quilter, I really don't like it. I'm specifically talking about the Quilter 101 mini head. But it's probably more products than just that. I don't like it. The feel. It's something about the way that you hit the strings and your pick attack and so on and so forth. It uses some sort of compressor just baked into the circuit that you can't turn on or off. This has something like that, to make it tubey or whatever. But it's not as offensive. All right, let's try humbuckies. Earlier today I was excited because Offset Guitar Tech who was part of the YDNA community, was scheduled to go live, but unfortunately, we never got to experience that. I think it's because the main YDNA channel was popping earlier today. There was some drama. There's a lot of viewers. So probably because of that drama, we didn't get to see Offset for the first time. But I guess that's coming soon. And you know, I understand not wanting to go on the internet. I've certainly stayed off myself because I value privacy. And not everybody has to have their own channel. Not everybody has to be a fucking genius and explain to the rest of the world how they should be doing things. But I'm just using this as a social network. I'm interacting. I'm talking about what I experience here. And it's better than just sitting and playing guitar alone. So I'm using this as a social network. I'm not here to sell anything. I'm not here to tell you that you're doing everything wrong. I'm just going to share what I've got. Yeah, earlier today I said I bought another Hercules brand. You know this Hercules brand? I bought another Hercules, not this one. I bought a 3-guitar rack that's coming in the mail. It was like $40 off. Good sale. The Hercules brand is good. I recommend it. Okay, let me listen to Humbuggies for a little bit. That's the Fender channel. With singles, that's really clean, so this dirties it up. Here's the Marshall channel. Channel 2. That sounds about right. Then the Mesa channel. I'll just have to turn up a little bit. More highs, more volume. sounds good. That's the third channel. Second channel. Let's see what I can do. I'm going flat. That's better. Well, it's the nice thing about having that Peterson Strobo Stomp. I can just push the button and the sound goes away. What I can tell you definitively is that this versus the Katana or the Catalyst, this is going to kick its butt. Without a doubt. It's also going to be twice as heavy. It's also something that companies could not make today and charge less than $1,200 for. So yeah, the flexibility of that foot switch is dope. My OD pedals sound really good going into that Fender channel. I don't know if the guy who owned this ever really played it that much. Maybe this thing is pretty much brand new, and maybe the speakers will sound different if I play it for a couple months. They sound fine right now. But the pick attack on the bass strings is noticeably different than a real amp. On a real amp, the Marshall 50 watt, hitting those bass strings, it's just immediate punch, and you're really connected with it, and it slaps that speaker. This, not as much. But then again, what would this be like at club volumes? Maybe it would really take off there. The Johann Sigborn video earlier today about the Yamaha solid state amps from the 70s, some of the comments were, oh yeah, I remember having one of those and it sucked. And one thing that he said is, I bet you never turned it up. So I believe that that's not just for tube amps with bright caps, but that could also be for these solid state amps with big transformers too. We got a couple people watching. What do you guys want to talk about? Hit the chat up. You want me to bring anything out? I've got a bunch of shit in this room. Hey Riley, that video, vintage amp extravaganza or whatever that you put out the other day, it's age restricted. I can't watch it in Korea, homie. That's my problem is whenever something gets age restricted, probably because he smoked a cigarette in the video, right? When I click it, I have to enter some sort of Korean resident number that I don't have, like a social security number. So I'm out of luck when anything gets age restricted, unfortunately. And that's not the trolls doing the age restriction, it's just the act of smoking a cigarette. The computers see it and they slap it with the age restriction. I don't think bad language gets age restriction. Could be wrong, but I think it's mostly about smoking cigarettes. I'm not sure if vaping also does it. Well, I guess I'll break out a Tech 21 character pedal to put in front of this amp. All right, so what do we got in here? Well, Screddy screwdriver. The Tech 21 Marshall Character Plus pedal. Keeley compressor, which I haven't really bonded with. My favorite compressor that I've used of probably 10 of them is Boss CS2 from the 80s. This is the Fender Character Plus pedal. And this is the Hiwatt Character Plus pedal. All right, let's plug the Fender into the Fender channel and give it a listen. Okay, well, these tone controls are also active. So this is going to sound really bad until it doesn't, because these controls are active and they're super powerful. there was too much gain to begin with. Okay, that's a good sound. Now let's try some of the character pedal. Yeah, like stuff like when you strike the low E string on a real tube amp, that would just hit you harder. This is the right sound, but the experience I have in the room is not it going bomb like sucker punching you. Sounds about right. What I found about the character pedals is that they're just like clarity enhancers. Turn up the highs a little bit, see if that gives me more clarity. Too much bass. That's not good because that bass is low. Yeah, it sounds good. The booty needs to get tighter. Too much flow. But it's fun. It's a cool amp. It sure is versatile. All right, so that character series, I don't know, man. I'm not feeling that into the Fender of this. Now, what I do think will give me my desired results is this Hiwatt character series one. Long time ago, I had the first character series, the first edition character series, Hiwatt pedals called the Leads. And this has the same type of thing in it, and it like cleans your sound up. It just makes everything a lot more articulate. It's really cool. Let's see what it can do for this. All right, let's check this shit out. Okay, without it. with it. Well, surprisingly enough, this doesn't like to go in front. These character pedals, they don't like to go in front of the trademark amps. Here's the bypass. Sounds a lot better. Although, let's check out the Big Muff. Let's go to the Strat. I'm not loving it, but I'll tell you the truth. You gotta fuck with these controls so much. You shouldn't judge it before you spend some time with it. And I haven't spent enough time into the front of this amp. I've put it in front of tube amps and it sounds a lot better. So I don't know. Let's get in there. Yeah, I could use that. Yep. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, these don't work in front of the Tech 21. Oh, yeah. You got it, Riley. Riley, do you live anywhere near Staffordshire? My girlfriend is from Staffordshire. She's an 8-year-old blue Staffordshire Terrier named Toshi. Well, riddle me this, Riley. Is the age restriction the same as when you say this is not meant for kids? because then everything that I've put together is also age restricted. I just selected that because I don't want kids watching my thing. But if that's the so if you select this is not made for kids, does that mean you're age restricting your own video? Because I don't want that. Well, ladies and gents, the character series do not work in front of the trademark 120, but they certainly do work in front of tube amps. Although, let me get out the user manuals for those character pedals. I'll say something about Tech 21 product and then I'll read the manual and I'll find out that I was wrong and I'll be able to set it up differently and everything will be Gucci. Let's see. As a stop box with a guitar amp, you can connect the Character Plus series in line just as you would a standard distortion pedal. If the preamp of your amplifier is imparting too much of its own character on the pedal, plug into the low level input and set the preamp as clean and neutral as possible. This one doesn't have low and high inputs. Alright, so that's not a thing here. As most amps tend to be on the bright side, you may need to start with high below 12 o'clock, just as necessary. Okay, I was doing that. Yeah. These guys work in front of tube amps, but in front of the trademark 120, they don't. It's too bright from the get-go. Incompatible. I don't have much of an explanation on why, but it's not sounding good. And I tried the different settings that are available. You're taking the business call? Oh, okay. Yeah. It's okay. You get some chicken? What's up, guys? Hey, Riley, you still here? You can answer a question I've got. Give me a sign of life. I'll ask you a question. Okay, so my question is about gain staging and attenuating and so on and so forth. So here's what's going on with the Princeton. The Princeton has 4 tube 12AX7 type tubes. One of them is a reverb driver, so it's a 12AT7, 12AU7. That's the second tube. So 1 is the main preamp tube, 2 reverb, 3 and 4 are the other tubes. So the 4th tube there, which I think they call V3B, but V4, okay? When we had a Mullard in there, get a lot of blocking distortion. When we put an AT7, a lower output tube, less blocking distortion, closer to where we want the sound. There's still a little bit of blocking distortion, and but it's a lot better. So I'm confused because the Mullard should be able to handle more gain than the AT7. I know the Mullard is also higher output. It's like, is it the circuitry that I don't understand the relationship between the output of the tube and the circuitry itself. Because that 4th 12AX7 tube, if it's lower output, we don't get the blocking distortion. If it's a higher output tube, we get the blocking distortion. But if it's that tube being pushed, the Mullard would be able to take more gain from the amp, more punishment from the amp circuitry than the AT7. I don't really get that. Well, I guess what's self-evident with this situation is that the higher output tube is increasing the blocking distortion, and the lower output tube is decreasing the blocking distortion. Okay, AT7 are good for phase inverter and fender. So this would be the phase inverter tube, the fourth 12AX type tube, or 12A type tube. Because these Mullards have more output than any other tube by quite a bit. Okay, so we'll put an AT7 in V2 for reverb and an AT7 in V4 for phase inverter. But, so riddle me this then. It's still got some blocking distortion. AT7 has more force to push the signal? I thought it was the other way around. I thought the Mullard 12AX7 has more output than any other tube. The problem is, even if we go AT7 reverb, AT7 V4 or V3B, there's still some blocking distortion. So are these Mullard tubes in V1 and V3 just a bad idea because they have so much output? Can this amp not handle the output of the Mullard 12AX7 and used in a couple positions? I'm here to learn, Master Riley. Let me know, man. I'm not here. I think you're picturing what's going on wrong. Forces the current to push the gain signal. Okay. Mullard 12AX7s are much higher output than an AT7. That's why you'd want to use AT7 on something like phase inverter or reverb, so you wouldn't be gaining it up, so you could actually turn the reverb a little bit and have a sweep instead of going from all to nothing, or going from nothing to 100%. Okay, AT7 has more pushing force. Well, then why isn't the AT7 creating more blocking? I don't know how it can have more pushing force, but it's lower output. Those seem like the same concepts, pushing force and output. So the Mullards have more gain, but the AT7 has more force. So the AT7 can take whatever the circuit's putting on it better than the AX7. Okay. That's confusing, buddy. Hey Riley, in that video, your vintage amp smorgasbord video, what amps did you have? Did you have like a big 60s solid state combo amp? Was that like a Vox combo amp or a WEM? What vintage amps are you talking about? I think you got some like funky British 60s pawn shop type deals, not like the main brands. I'm gonna watch the video. Just wondering if you could type a couple of those amps in. Do you have a WEM? Which amps were you playing in the video? You said you were showing off some old amps you have. I know Gilmore played through them. I think what this Tech 21 amp needs is the yellow Boss Overdrive, the SD1. Let's see what I've got in here. Yeah, we need a little bit of that in front of that Tech 21. That's going to tighten the booty. All right, Riley, I don't want to talk to you either, man. It's hard for me to believe that these are $2,500 guitars, man. I didn't buy it. I traded up for it. It's nice, but the guitar I traded up for it was nice too, and I certainly didn't pay $2,500 for that. I made a straight trade, guitar for guitar. I got that. And the guitar I traded it for? I'm not going to tell you what I paid. Criminal good deal. I find deals. I made some of the best deals in Guitar Gear history. Seriously. You know the videos and the memes of like the little Indian boy who trades up, like he'll start with a paper clip and then he'll trade for 2 pieces of bubble gum and so on and so forth, and then he'll be in a mansion surrounded by Ferraris. Now, I'm not pretending that I'm like that. If I was like that, I wouldn't have to work, and I'd have some money. But I've done very well on limited resources. I'll put it that way. What guitar did I trade up for to get that one? A guitar manufactured just right outside of where Andy lives, right outside of the home of YDNA, from a brand called Ithacaster. Look them up. They're now being sold at Carter's Vintage in Nashville and other premier stores like that. Top of the line shit. I got with Ithacaster when he was just starting out, and he needed to move projects to afford other projects. And now he's hot shit. And his son's also basically a rock star as far as what that can be today. His son's in one of the most popular bands playing guitar. So yeah, Ithacaster is in Carter Vintage and a bunch of cool shops like that. And I bought 2 of his early guitars, same time, same day. Traded one for that. You got to find the rising stars. Which really shocks me why people aren't sending a couple grand to YDNA to get something made. This is for the questions that don't have any answers. I guess most of his fans aren't even guitar players. Most of his fans are just there because they like the personalities. But man, that's not going to last forever. But I do believe that he's going to become famous. And I think there will not really be a doubt that his stuff isn't special. Most people just judge him visually and just judge appearances and then cast him out. That doesn't work upon closer inspection. The amps are really cool. The brand is really cool. I haven't seen anything like it because everybody is just, um, you have Cameron, Bray, Splon. You have different marshals. Okay. I mean, the big ones, Friedman, Wagner, Soldano. But who's really doing something creative with the whole thing? The only person I'd compare to YDNA would be BC Audio, Bruce Clement. And nobody knows what he even wants to sound like. His shit is just all about the straight lines of the wiring. So nobody knows who Bruce Clement is. Nobody knows what the amps sound like. I think we all assume that they sound like clean and articulated just because you're looking through like clear plexiglass at straight wires making 90-degree angles and all that. But as far as like what these are supposed to sound like, hey, I might be wrong, but I don't feel like he has introduced himself or talked about his concept of tonalities when it comes to electric guitar. I think his whole shtick is um, kind of like the clear. Remember in like 95 and it was like there's clear shaving cream, um, clear glasses, clear such and such. And then Saturday Night Live said, and clear mashed potato mix. So you have this clear blob on your plate. Everything was about clear, right? So I think Bruce Clement's thing is like, all right, let's build a pretty looking thing and then put, clear plastic over it so everybody can look at it. Do we know what it sounds like? Or is it just like this guy's wiring is really good? I don't know. That might be a good um, option for YDNA is to embrace the clear plastic lifestyle and also introduce yourself. Also talk about your tonality understanding, what you're trying to do with the amplifiers. Because this guy, all he does is, oh, it's built better than everyone else. Like his skill level. Maybe he doesn't have a personality. Maybe he can't speak in front of a camera. Maybe he doesn't have a unique concept of tonalities and he's just making like, this is my Fender circuit. The wires are clean. It could be like that. And his only offering is, I do clean wiring instead of spaghetti western like everybody else. It could be like that. I think I probably would have heard his voice by now if it wasn't just like that. So, BC, that's the only one I can think of that kind of reminds me of YDNA. Because they both try to be showstoppers with the quality wiring. But BC doesn't talk about what his tonal references are and what he's shooting for and what he wants to do with amps. So if it's just technical expertise, that's kind of like being a shredder guitarist. That's like John 5 replacing Mick in Motley. Nobody cares how fucking many thousands of notes John 5 can play. So I think we should look more at BC amps and see if this guy actually explains himself. Because I know I've looked up his gut shots and I like what I see, but I don't think there's any explanation. I think it's just like, look at this. Some things are a lot cheaper in Korea than they are in the States. One of those things are road cases. So, you know, SKB road cases, like an 8U or a 10U rack, they can be like $800, $1,000. I've got an 8U rack here that's every bit as good as SKB. I think this thing was like $250. And it's like a $900 product on Sweetwater. Not everything is like that. Okay? The restaurants are a lot better. There's no tipping. Used cars are a lot better because they actually make cars here in the country instead of America, which decided not to make anything 50 years ago. So yeah, used cars. $2,000 can go a long way. You can get a great used car. But yeah, rack cases. I know a lot of you just want plugins. I don't. And I also don't want to pay for rack cases, like $1,000 for a rack case. So I'm going to get my rack shit going on while I'm here. And in Korea, anything that's used that has a scratch and dent, however so small, is cheap. Because for whatever reason, they've decided that they need brand shiny new. Hey guys, if you want to interact, get in the chat and type something. I'll respond to you. I'm using this as a social network. The other thing I bought today, besides the Hercules 3 guitar stand that was greatly reduced on Sweetwater, I got another UA pedal. All right. I'm not talking about the UA pedals that you connect to your cell phone. I'm talking about the smaller ones, the boss size ones. So I usually play with the Heavenly Reverb, which is a plate reverb. And I put that in front of the Marshall to get the Van Halen sounds, to get the correct reverb sounds for a lot of classic rock. So I bought the other one. It's called Evermore. I don't know where these names come from. I'd rather it be called The Effect It Is, rather than say UA Audio, Reverb Style 1, Reverb Style 2 or something. Okay, so I bought the Evermore today. And I'm going to join Led Zeppelin in the Battle of Evermore and protect the village. Right? So the Evermore, it has room and hull. So I have the plate currently. I'll get the room and hull soon. And when I don't want the plate stuff, I'll put on just a little bit of room, and that's it. And those little things make a big difference. They really do. That's also whatever reverb we're talking about with this Evermore. They say it's built upon. They say it's based on the Lexicon 1980s reverb, and it has a mod knob, which this one does too. I think. Yeah. But I'm pretty sure if it's Lexicon with a mod knob, that I'll throw in the Heavenly for the plate for like Van Halen 1 or Thin Lizzy. And then the other one that I'll get soon, I can probably crank that mod knob with whatever Lexicon deal is in there and get the like Dr. Feelgood Motley. So I can probably go from late 70s to then late 80s. And just that change in reverb with the same Marshall amp. Yeah. Dudes, put something in the chat. There's been people in here the whole time. Hit me up. I will respond to you. This is a social network. I'm not here to pontificate and tell you the secrets of life and what you need to buy. And even if I don't like you, I will talk to you if you type something in the chat. I did send something to YDNA earlier today. It's not a musical product. Does anybody have a guess of what it could be? It's not musical. I sent something to him. Man, I know I'm on a different time frame than the rest of y'all, but if you show me no love, you're not going to get this content. I sent YDNA something in the mail today. It was not a musical related item. Well, to compare it to a record at 2 hours and 35 minutes, this is a pretty deep cut. And if you're not watching this all the way through, like 3 or 4 of you are right now, you're just not going to find it within the whole video. So I will tell the 3 or 4 people that are watching right now what I sent. Look, I felt it had to be done. The spirit of WCW NWO, the story was that there were these artists who worked for a company. The company was making big bucks, and the artists were working long hours at the expense of the company. So one day these artists banded together, and they didn't unionize. They found a new employer who offered more money, and they went to the new employer with new wind in their sails and started off on a new journey. So the NWO in the WCW, it lines up with the YDNA message. And that's why I sent him a WCW NWO shirt, circa 1995. And it just clicks, it fits. It'll make sense. Well, I'm getting some messages now. Okay. Hey, everybody has their preferences. It's not up to me to decide what other people do, but I feel there's a synergy between the messaging I've got people sending me strange messages. I feel there's a synergy between the messaging of the WCW, NWO, and the YDNA versus the big companies like Fender and Bad, boutique amp distribution. There's a similar situation going on there. And that's why I wanted to present YDNA with the NWO shirt. Because he can be that guy that says, suck it. He can be the guy that says, fuck you, I quit. I'm making my own thing now, right? So earlier today, I was really on the fence between the classic black and white NWO t-shirt and I had more color options. A gray. I was going with gray. I thought gray would suit YDNA. D-Generation X. Okay? Because as we all remember, D-Generation X was a group at the same time as the NWO who liked to get up there and do this suck it thing, right? And that is also part of the story of YDNA, is this this full body, full force message of defiance. So I think I'm going to send the D-Generation X t-shirt as well. But hey, we got to start somewhere. The classic black and white tee. The NWO classic black and white tee. I think, okay, here's a theory. I think people will see the tribal tats poking out. They'll see some tribal tats poking out. They'll see the long hair. They'll see a 50-year-old dude with the shirt on a YouTube short. And they'll be clicking because they'll think, oh, this is obviously got to be one of the WCW NWO superstars from that time period. It's a good look. There's going to be people clicking because they think that this gentleman was a former NWO member. Another option earlier was a white shirt with black and red lettering, which was the NWO Wolfpack, which was a gang within the NWO gang. Just like the D-Generation X, I thought this shirt would look better on YDNA. I thought that gray D-Generation X option would look good. I thought this white shirt with black and red lettering would look good. But the wolf pack, I mean, we're narrowing our group of people who will be able to just visually connect with the image. You know, so hey, it's if we're trying to get to 10K, we should just go black and white NWO t-shirt. Andy is in the chat. Thank you, Andy. There have been, I don't know, 3 people continuously in the chat, but Riley has been the one who has interacted. Andy, the other thing, well, I may send you more of these wrestling shirts so you can tell the world to suck it, you know, to get back to 1995 WCW type mentality. But the other thing that I will send you is a 1970s style, because you were born in the bicentennial, right? July 4th, 1976. You have to have a top hat, like a Mad Hatter's top hat, that is red, white, and blue, Uncle Sam style. Okay? And that will come in handy when you're stepping up to the mic and preaching to the world on a song. And there's a couple songs where this will work out. A lot of songs don't need this hat, but some songs, when you want this dramatic effect, will be enhanced by a Uncle Sam red, white, and blue top hat with some stars, maybe, you know. So we're going NWO, we're going Grand Funk Railroad type deal. I'm just thinking about little ways I can help with the brand and with, you know, with the presentation. Andy, I'm about to get off. If you type something in the chat, I'll respond. If there's something that I could address. If not, I think it's about time to mosey. I'm not trying to build a channel. I'm not trying to come up with cool content. I'm just sharing this, and there's going to be a certain amount of people that check it out and interact with me. This is a social network. So what's up? You know, I feel like I took a breath and I'm able to relax. I was really bothered by the Princeton, but I'm not anymore. It'll happen in time, you know. I'm not sweating it. Like, yeah, it got under my skin and I was like, this sounded so good for 2 hours. What the fuck? But all right, so that's what tube amps are like. Okay, yeah, welcome to the real world. You know? So it boiled my blood, but I don't really fucking care because it will get worked out one way or another. And nobody's gonna get like screwed over, and everything's cool, dude. So um, tonight I just played that Tech 21 amp for a while, and it's got something going on. I tried to play some of those character pedals in front of it, and it didn't take them as well as a tube amp. I talked about the Ithacaster guitar that I traded a 1-for-1 deal with this PRS guitar. And I'm looking Sweetwater, man, these are like $2,500. Andy. Don't take this the wrong way. I talk about the sole proprietors. Ithacaster. I bought 2 guitars same day, like maybe 5-6 years ago when he was just starting out. His kid is the guitar player in the fuck is that? You know that the dude who sings the cover of Tennessee Whiskey by George Jones? Jason Stapleton, or yeah, Jesse or Jason Stapleton. That's one of the biggest bands in country music. So Ithacaster's kid is the guitar player in that guy's band. So Ithacaster's kid, as far as like, I mean, nobody buys albums anymore and so on and so forth, but this guy is a modern day rock star. Okay, so I found Ithacaster when he was just starting out. This is pre-COVID. It's like 2017 or something. I bought 2 Strats same day. I'm not going to tell you what I paid for those Strats. This is like a $2,500 guitar. I traded that Strat for it. That never, a deal like the one I'm talking about never happens. So that's why you got to get with the sole proprietors. That's why you got to keep an eye on the sole proprietors and see who's talented and see who's going to rise. An A&R guy in the 70s and 80s with music would be doing the same thing. Yeah, Andy, you want to hear the real truth about it? I can send you screenshots too. Don't tell the guy I traded it with. I bought 2 Ithacasters for $650 each. I traded one for a $2,500 PRS. Now the Ithacasters are sold at Carter's Vintage in Nashville. Imagine that, man. I don't think you're ever going to hear a story like that again. It's not a good trade. That's an unheard of trade. And that doesn't make me bad. That's just the way it was, man. Well, I told a secret. I showed off some gear. There's some projects in the works, like my 2 projects from the sole proprietors, which are Jackie Lee, the Marshall, and he needs to make me one for the Hiwatt. Jackie Lee finished those jobs. And then we also got YDNA himself. You see the loose wires? Those are ones I put in quickly to try to make things work. I won't be working this weekend. I am available and we can work on this. So any loose wiring you see in here is ones that I have put in to do circuit analysis on the fly. Okay, I gotta take a piss, so I got 1 more minute. I'll tell you, this weekend, I want to see the new Predator movie in theaters. And next weekend, I'm going, well, not the weekend, but for Thanksgiving, I'm going to a place that's very sci-fi. It's called the Dragon Hill Lodge. So, up until 5 years ago, the biggest U.S. military base in Korea was called Yongsan, and it's in the middle of Seoul. Everything moved out of that besides 2 things: a hotel, and the people that work at the American Embassy in Seoul, they have apartments there. That's it. So you have this huge base in the middle of one of the most populated cities. And it's a ghost town besides a hotel that was built in 87 and still looks like 1987, and one street of housing for people that work at the U.S. Embassy. That's it. So everything else is overgrown. It feels like post-apocalyptic movie. It's crazy. It's a really cool place to go for that reason. And then for another reason, at Thanksgiving and Christmas, they put on a big spread at the hotel. They've got a lot of decorations. They got a big buffet. It's cool. So it makes you feel like you're back in America during the holidays, if that's what you choose to do. Sometimes we have friends over and we make Thanksgiving dinner and do it here. But this time we're going to go to the Dragon Hill Lodge, which could be the inspiration for a new Snowpiercer series, something like that. Like it's this little self-sustaining building surrounded by decaying houses. There's a Burger King that looks like it's a Chernobyl Burger King. It's really amazing. Okay, guys. Talk to you soon.